Okay guys, we've got the engine all situated in the car, and we'll just take you through our process of how we went about doing it. So we got the car out on our most level part of the shed pad where we do all our suspension and four-link settings, so we know this is dead level. We set the car to ride height, which is 110 mil at the back and 90 mil at the front. We got our digital level and just went over the whole car, and it was absolutely perfectly dead level. So as I said before about crankshaft height and spacing from the diff, we talked to Blazy Boy, and even Tim McCamus himself gave us the advice of 270 mil crankshaft height. So that was the critical number that we needed before we went and got the front engine plates made. So as you saw in the last video, Andrew Cole cut us out these killer plates and we laid them on the chassis rail right at 270 mil. The other thing Tim McCamus said is that we wanted 1.6, 1.7 degrees engine rising towards the rear, towards the pinion. So that in mind, kind of got to work on mounting the rear engine plate. So he's made all the brackets, and we actually welded those brackets on with 1.5 degrees angling up to the back, just so we're not tweaking on the engine plate trying to get that little incline up towards the pinion. So that actually came out really trick. We got them all welded on, bolted that rear engine plate in, and from there we needed to find out a number to set that rear engine plate to achieve that 1.6 degrees. So how we achieved that number for the back engine plate was you actually bring your car over virtually and lay it on the ground. So we've done a nice straight line as our ground. Then we put a straight edge, got our 270 mils. Then we measured the distance to the pinion down here at 380 mils, 340 mils, sorry. So that's the pinion height. Then we draw a straight line from our crankshaft height to our pinion height. Then we measured the front of the engine to the back of the crankshaft, and that gives you the number for the center line of the crankshaft. So that is just the car brought over, laid out on the ground, and as long as you get your measurements right, that will give you your starting point. So we transferred that number onto the back of the engine plate. We had all our center lines all scribed out, and that gave us a starting point to put our bell housing on. And then we transferred the dowels and all the bolts, and we took the center of the crank out there. That can be just a little bit bigger. Bolted it all together. That came out really trick. But then we moved on to the front. The front engine plate mounts here on this. It's actually a sleeve. So this thing slides back and forward, and our tabs are mounted to that sleeve. So if we change the engine position at any point, that sleeve can just slide back. It's just less likely to crack. You don't have to do this. It's just the chassis already had it on there. We thought we'd use it. They've actually done the same principle on this top bar here. It's just got rosettes, so that can actually twist and flex a little bit, and you won't be breaking any mounts off. So we went ahead, kind of welded those on. We pushed them up onto the engine plate, and then we just lifted the motor slightly until our digital vernier read right on that 1.6 degrees, and then we blew the holes through, and that's her. The engine's mounted up, and we'll move on to the next job.
Just a little build video intermission. Had to go on a quick recovery mission for a parcel that had been dropped off 30 minutes away from where it was meant to at a random produce place. Thank God there's some nice people around that gave us a call. Let us just come pick it up because we're only 30 minutes away anyway. So I just shot straight there, picked it up, was all in one piece. And there you go. That's race car parts, baby. Let's go.
That's a Wildwood Master. Nice.
I just want to quickly show you this trans mount Connor's whizzed up. So if you guys seen us at the track at the Western Nationals taking the gearbox out of the Torrey, you'd know that it was an absolute mission. So the idea with this gearbox mount was to make it so we could get it out easily. So right now it's all mounted up. You want to take the gearbox out, take that split pin out, drop that bracket down, and then it can slide back freely and come straight up.
And when it's at 90 degrees, take the bottom.
Don't burn me beauty, cop. Oh, you're good, you're good. I think you might need to go back a bit still.
That way?
Yep. Jump the gun, you've absolutely jumped the gun.
How's that, Coco?
Let me stand back. A little bit more.
How's that?
Tell you what, mate.
Blow it on there. Yes.
Very resourceful fellas, that's what we like to see.
Still a gap there.
The human notcher.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, butter. Oof. Don't need a notcher here, guys, when you got a fucking flapper disc.
A flapper gob.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
You gotta have oh, yeah.
Things the wrong way around. You put your pin in the wrong way around your flog.
Slide it in.
He's biting the dust.
Kingswood paint, by the way.
Oh, I can't tell.
Buddy.
I can't half tell.
That's it.
There you go, that's it, mate. That's it. Yes.
Whoop.
Yes.
Granddad's Kingswood paint, we hit the floor. Safety first, dude.
How do you keep it on top?
Did he put you up for that?
Nah. I thought I heard him talking shit.
Sweet. It's a pretty sweet template. It's got to
I need a bit more on the ends, but
Rough idea. Very rough.
Troy, you're gonna want a little bit of zoom on that, son.
So what we got here is a little template I just made. Bailey showed just making it under the back for the puke tank. And this is the broke guy's version of a pipe bender. So we just got our template and overlapped that over our piece of pipe that we just bent up. Left a little bit on the end so we can trim it down. But now I'll put another mark here.
a little magnet there, or a little hook.
On there. Maybe go a little bit more just to allow for the bend. There we go again.
Burn down tube entry pipes welded in here. Troy's just gone through with a hole saw. The little biscuit's fallen down inside. So good idea is to not weld your end bungs in until you've drilled your hole saws, because then you get your little fishing rod. Send it down inside here. Get yourself a nice little flatty. There you go. So that's a little trick that'll save you a bit of heartache.
Might learn something for today.
No one.
Good when we ever got you got a texter? Huh? Where is it?
We can also. We had something a bit longer.
There you go. You said we can learn a lesson here. What is it?
Yeah, well, we've got to get a straight line around here. These two slot together. So we want to get a straight line around here. Cut it. No, it hasn't worked. But that's it there. This is the two-piece enclosure. We just want to get a square edge to start with.
Oof, your arm pump.
See how that goes. Alright, we got the loop in, all welded out, ready to receive the tail shaft enclosure which goes to the rear cross member. I'm just going to start welding out these blowback tubes to go back to the puke tank back there, which we welded out brackets for just before. So we'll start doing this now. Just needs to roll towards Bailey a bit at the top.
What does it need to do?
Needs to roll towards Bailey a bit.
You got to come across this way. That's us. And go down a touch till it hits.
That's it.
Does it hit?
It's hitting.
Beautiful.
There's the fitment at the front.
It's good.
That looks good back here. We got a little bit of.
We just need to. What we'll have to do
Guys,
is.
we've just ducked out to go get smoke over the boys. We've all loaded into the back of the trites. And we've just peered back to the front door. And we got a little treat. Hello.
Right on, look at that.
Hey. That'll be presents after lunch.
That's present.
You bet.
Oh my
You want to just put them inside?
Fully polished turnout. Yeah.
That's the inside one.
That blankie on.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just going to sit that bead lock on top there. Let's just do the whole
So
exercise.
you can go black or you can go.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We've got to see the fronts as well while we're here.
Here we go.
Oh, butter.
Damn, son! That's pretty.
Have a look at this for peak performance.
Call it 3 dogs.
Oh, 3 dogs fucking. Had me hammer fucking wedged between those two bars there. This one's coming out as well, isn't it?
Right, what we're working on here is getting the driver really comfortable in the car. These real low PROMOD cars not really made for 6'4" guys. So we're gonna sink the seat into the bottom side of the main rail. So we're gonna gain another 1.5 inches, get the driver a little bit lower down in the car, allow us a little bit more room for padding. And you just don't want to be hunched up like a dog humping a tennis ball. So that gives us more room in the car, safer, and that's going to make it a good deal.
I probably should just let you boys play with this and then you know what you're doing. I'll do that in a second.
Just got to give a quick shout out to Mr. Wayne Keys. Went over to his place and got these bars all bent up, and these are going to go in here like this. Nice little dip for your arse to go down in, so we can just lower the seat a bit.
Righto, we got that drop down all sorted in the floor. So now we want to do a carbon tub. So we want to utilise the whole area. So you can just get a bit of cardboard, core flute. We got a couple of bits of perspex, whatever. Just form it out to fill up the whole area. Then we're going to lay a little bit of fiberglass in there just to give us a plug to work off. Then we're going to make a nice carbon tub to go in there. Then put a pour-in seat, all ISB padding all around the top. So yeah, that's just going to be the bucket or whatever you call it to lay in there. At the same time as we're doing that, while we've got a bit of fiberglass on the go, we've made the rear body mount. So these are going to get fiberglass to the rear of the body. So it just helps if you drill a couple of holes, it helps the fiberglass bite on there. They're going to come over each side of the back of the body like that, so it won't be able to move side to side. And we'll just put a quick pin or something in there, and that'll secure the back of the body. Just recapping on week 1 of the Corvette build. Obviously we mounted the motor, we talked about that earlier. Then we moved on to the burn down tubes. On the Tirana, the burn down tubes went out through the back, so this is going to get flipped back around. We've got a lot more room in this car. So the exit point for the burn down tubes, Connor's blowing them in. They turned out real nice. Also, at the end of a meeting, you may get some residual like oil and fuel in there. So we've put little plugs in the end with -4 drains, so that any stuff that doesn't make it to the puke tank can be drained out the front, keep the weight down. But basically, with a high boost engine, they do make a lot of crankcase pressure. They want to have a vomit quite regularly. So that's the reason for that. So to save having pipes all the way from the front to the back, you utilise this top rail. So the junk goes in there, runs down this top rail to the back of the car. So then we've had to make these exit points, which is quite tricky because the twin frame rail closes in really tight here. Got to get around this funny car cage. Troy got these all shaped out and in place so that Connor could get them welded in. They turned out great. And then they're going to separate up here to the puke tank at the back. Got to do a big shout out to Tony Wood Fabrications. Regularly we just throw something on him, give him a quick diagram, and he just knocks out. He knocked this out, turned out perfect. And yeah, top bloke, top fabricator. So any West Australian guys or even Eastern State guys, hook up Tony Wood, he'll sort you out real good. So that's sort of the puke side of it. But apart from plumbing the hoses out, we got that all finished. As Bailey talked about earlier, we've got the gearbox mount done with this quick release. He told you all about that. Then we moved into the tail shaft enclosure. That's also a quick release deal, chrome molly tunnel. Turned out really good. It's got to be fairly strong in case you have a failure. The only thing we've got to finish up on that is a rear loop that gets welded into the back of here, and that ties all that in. We're just still waiting on that from McCamus, so that'll be here shortly. So that's 90% done. Here's some of the parts that Bailey recovered from North Dandalup the other day. We decided to go to more of a modern Tim McCamus track locator wishbone type deal, as opposed to the one that came with the car. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with that one, but we just, if we do put rear steer in the car, we're not sure if that one's going to be too friendly for that. So this is a killer piece here, and it's more what we're used to dealing with. So that's going to go in the near future. Other things that turned up was a little steering access thing that goes through the firewall, keeps it all really nicely sealed up. There's some wheelie bar braces, parachute and fire bottle, little release cables, heaps of dus fasteners, little captive black ones and hardware to go with that. Brake master cylinder, mounting kit, little window bevels for when we do fit the windows out. And there's just heaps of cool stuff in here, brackets, tons of brackets and bolts, and heaps of miscellaneous brackets, weight bar brackets, more, heaps of good stuff. So make sure you tune in for the next episode where we'll be hooking right in and getting the body mounted, getting that seat all shaped up, and we'll catch us then.